Hi everyone, I'm Jules and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about something different, a book review on one of my favorite books I've read recently, Bloomberg. I used to love reading books a lot when I was much younger, and I really have a large collection of books until my bookshelf is slanting, it's almost about to break. I don't want to give them away because they're like treasures and they mean so much to me, and they have helped me along my journey until today. Whenever I feel down, I need some motivation, then I will pick them up and then let these books make me come to life, alive and excited about moving on, whatever troubles that I've been through. So this book was a book that I actually bought pre-pandemic, and it was lying in my cupboard for so long, and it was in the wrapper until recently when I decided to take a vacation, and I then unwrapped the book and then took this book out to read at the beach. And it was a really awesome book. Maybe because I haven't read for a long time, but this book really speaks to me, especially now in my job, especially in what I do, managing people, and this book helps me to relate to what I'm going through. So I've taken notes down, just like these are my notes that I take them down at the end of the book. I got this inspiration from Vivi Yusof, one of the most famous influencers in Malaysia, and she loves books, and I love reading her book reviews, and I really love reading books on biographies, things that really inspire me to do better. In the past, when I was young, I used to love reading novels, romance stories, and my father used to tell me, stop reading junk. And I was wondering why. I'm reading because I want to improve my English. And now I know better that these type of biography books, although they are a little bit more serious, but really I have changed my preference in books. I prefer things that make or inspire me to be better. So let me tell you more about this book. As I read it, it took me so long to read this book. My speed of reading has really slowed down, but maybe because it's a little bit heavier. There are some things that really make me look back and ponder and think about it. I'm really immersed into what he has said, and therefore it took me so long. I read it over my weekend at the beach resort. It made my holiday so much awesome. Reading to me is not studying, it's something that helps me reflect and make me feel a new person again, like a mentor speaking to me. This person, Bloomberg, he's a child from the middle class working parents, and he was a mediocre student at school. And when he first took interest in studies was when his history teacher started introducing him to events which the lecturer himself experienced in his life, and that made that story so much livelier and something that he could relate to. And therefore, it sparked his interest in the history about human rights, and then it slowly started to grow interest in him to want to know and deal more with people. So his strength is not in education and studying, but rather dealing with people. So you can see when he went to college, he was very actively participating in leadership roles, in organizing events. So that helped him to grow his personality and also grow his leadership skills while he was in school. And he noticed that when he went to university, there are three types of persons that he mentioned in this book. One type of person is the smart kind of person, where at the end of it, they did quite well in life. The other person is the bullshitters, and usually they sort of faded out later part in life. And the third type of person is those street smart, and then those with common sense, and those are the better predictors of career achievements. So all in all, You don't have to be really good at academics, but you really have to be street smart, and you have to have some common sense in what you do, be alert, and this will help you in your career or whatever you do in life. When he first finished he did his MBA in Harvard, and from there he started his job at Solomon Brothers, where a lot of his peers, they were coming from those rich families, and they had a lot of connections to start jobs in companies that really can propel them to greater heights. But he was not that lucky because he didn't have so much connections. But then through a friend, he managed to get a job in Solomon Brothers, and he started his clerical work by putting, it was really clerical, as in he need to, stack papers up together, put paper clips, sharpen pencils for his seniors, and it was pure work that he wasn't quite proud of. But he still persevered, and he had an exposure to see the activities in a security firm. So while he was doing this, he's always taking the subway to work. He made sure he came to work earlier than anybody else. He was at work at 7 a.m., making himself indisposable to others by, picking up calls early in the morning. So when people call and there's no one there in office, only you, so people were always looking for him. So when the seniors came in, it's like, why is everyone looking for Bloomberg all the time? Because he's always the first to pick up the call in the day. So eventually everybody was looking for him, because he was somebody very accessible to everyone, all the customers. According to Bloomberg, 80% in life is about showing up. That means be there. If you really want to be successful in life, outwork the other person, meaning that you just be better than the other person, everybody else in a company. Just try your best, do your best, do beyond what you can do. Challenge yourself and go beyond your comfort zone. If you're new to your job or you're starting out your career, his advice is that, daily, every day, you're always presented with small, surprising opportunities. So seize all these small opportunities. Don't look down on small opportunities, because you never know that you may tap on one of these opportunities that can propel you to the top. So it is not about, waiting for the time where you can just hit the jackpot. I think you will wait for a very long time. Rather, it would make better sense if you are always trying to grab hold of the next opportunity that comes by you. Grab it, hold it, and you never know when you hit the one that really helps you in your career. Many young people are too impatient, for benefits or a job that pays $100 or $200 more. So eventually they miss out on a lot of opportunities. Instead, why not give your current job a chance? If your current job can present an opportunity to learn more, then stay on in the job. Even though it pays a little less, but if it gives you a lot of opportunities to grow and learn, then stay with it. In Solomon Brothers, he was doing really well. Somehow he wasn't made a partner, and he was really, really disappointed after all the hard work he's put into the company. So when the promotion was announced and he wasn't made a partner, he was very angry actually. So he just went for a run, and next day he still went back to work, and he did even more. And he later, at that same week, made the biggest trades of his career, and within 3 months he was made a partner, meaning that the company has no reason not to make him a partner with all the effort he has put into. One thing that he said, of course his life wasn't a bed of roses. So as he was going up his career path, he was also going down. So there are always ups and downs in your careers. So one day you're doing well, the next day you might not be doing well. So one advice that comes from him is that be nice to the people on your way up, because you may pass the same ones when you're coming down. So whatever it is, you may meet nasty people, just swallow it. Of course, don't let yourself be a pushover. Make sure you stand up for yourself, but respect the people, and also try to be smart around it. Yeah, don't go around offending people and think that you're the best. even though you're at the top of the career, because you never know when you will go down. Oh, well, he says that Sunday night was his best night because he's always looking forward to that, because the coming week he will have 5 full days of fun in office, and that's how much he loved to work. When he created Bloomberg, is his success story, where after he got fired from Solomon Brothers, he started a company called Bloomberg, and the company sold this software, the terminal, which is equivalent to Google in the financial markets. Yeah. So basically, he created a solution for a problem that existed because there was not much avenues to get information during those days. And he started off with Merrill Lynch, and eventually other banks, other institutions were very interested in his solutions, and then came Bank of England, the Vatican, and the World Bank, and the rest is history, where Bloomberg became one of the most well-known companies in the financial markets. Bloomberg is a very hands-on person. I would say I am a very hands-on person as well. I used to be an IT manager where I was also a hands-on person as well as a people manager, and I love getting my hands dirty, because when you get your hands dirty, you really know what's going on, and it's easier to manage the people. But as you are moving up the ladder, and you must realize that slowly you need to let go of some of the tasks, because as your organization grows, you need to learn how to delegate. When he started the Bloomberg company, he was a very hands-on person where he had to deal a lot with the operations of the company. But as the company grew, he slowly had to learn how to delegate tasks to his staff, to the management people, so that the company can run on its own, and he can put his resources and attention to somewhere else which could grow the company even further. So in terms of IT, as I'm also in the IT line where we help to build solutions or find solutions for the business to run well, he said this: build a simple, do a few things solutions. Sometimes business find it hard to articulate what they want, what they need, because they don't know how to tell you their ideal solution. So as an IT person, if you are a business analyst, then rather than coming up with this fantastic do everything solution, chances are you never realize that actually what the user wants is just something very simple. So you really have to understand what exactly your user needs. And then when you produce something simple, they will use whatever you have from and forget whatever they requested earlier, all those really powerful solution animations or automated functionalities. Users, they want everything automated with just a touch. But reality is they just need a basic solution that functions and meets their basic needs. And eventually they will forget everything that they requested, and they will think that you are a hero for delivering what they wanted. I'm the same here. Sometimes I give them solutions that really I give them a Ferrari when they actually need a Proton car. Proton is a very basic car actually. So if you're building a system solution, develop a new product, build and deliver practical working models, what the client can actually use. And then later add in features to make it outstanding. So you don't have to have a really crazy solutions that can automate things with just one click, one touch. All these things come later. Do what is necessary first. So one of the software development practice that he always use is to insist on explanation from programmers. Because sometimes programmers, they are thinking, maybe you can do this, but they didn't really think it through. So he would ask them to explain what they are trying to do before letting them do it. So when they are describing it, so ask them to describe in a language that you can understand and describe it in detail. So when they start describing things in detail, it forces them to rethink about the cost, the maintenance, the data quality, the redundancy and the training. And when they really think through, sometimes the solution doesn't have to be what they thought in the first place. And sometimes certain factors they didn't think about, and they can fine-tune it to be a better solution. Okay, another thing that he shared was about education in children. He never believed that there's a need for computers in every classroom. He says that it's better to focus on teaching basic skills of reading, writing, arithmetic, logic, concentration, cooperation, working, and leaderships. These are the skills that you really have to build when you are young. In school, you learn this kind of skills, this kind of basic skills and social skills to survive in the real world. So when you are ready to go out to the real world in college, that's when the other skills become more necessary. So this is from his perspective. He talked also about management, that it is important to constantly train, coach, retrain, increase everyone's worth in the company. Rather than hiring from outside, it's better to promote from inside. In order to promote your staff from inside, it is important and essential for the company to grow. So when you grow, then only new opportunities are created. If you don't grow, then there's no place to go exactly, because if you don't expand the organization, there's no new business coming in, then what are they to manage? We have managers managing managers. So the primary function of the top, the management, is to care and feed the company's most valuable assets. And what do you think that is? Employees, of course. What does he define as the best day in his life? The perfect day, when he's hopelessly overscheduled. I would read it from page 196. I think the perfect day is one which I'm hopelessly overscheduled. Exercise early in the morning and get to work by 7 a.m., a series of rush meetings, phone call after phone calls, emails demanding a reply, a hurried business lunch between my meetings to solve firm personnel, financial or policy problems, perhaps give an interview to a news outlet about Bloomberg philanthropies, make a speech of one about the issues of our foundation are working on, an early dinner event followed by a second dinner with friends, and then fall into bed exhausted but satisfied with the day's accomplishments, maybe trying to make a dent in the magazines piled up on the nightstand. That's the best weekday one could ever have. He's a workaholic, but I understand, because when your life is really meaningful with meaningful activities, then you are really satisfied with the day's work. It's really good to enjoy what you do, because if you do enjoy what you do, then there's nothing to complain about. You don't feel exhausted, even though you're tired from all these things, but you feel happy inside because you feel satisfied that you've achieved something. He talked about, ever since his personality, ever since in college, he's been engaged with independent projects on his own terms, meaning that he has never been a spectator, and he preferred to do things himself instead of watching other people do. Well, this one I could agree, because in the past I was more like a spectator, looking at other people and wishing I could do it. But now I start to overcome my fears, my insecurities, and myself. I started to step into these roles to actually do things by myself instead of watching people do it. And another quote, he said, I've always valued practice. There are occasions where it isn't time to figure out the right procedures. Sometimes, no matter how smart you are, repetition builds instincts. So sometimes in life, you need to have that instinct to make certain decisions, and this is very helpful when you have experience doing what you do, your work. Sometimes all these experiences builds that instinct in you to make certain decisions. There are 3 things that separate winners from losers in long term. First is time invested. Second is interpersonal skill. And third is plain old-fashioned luck. You need to put in your time. You need to be able to speak to people, be able to communicate with people, work with people, and that's so important. And the third is you need to have a little bit of luck, of course, to get you through. But luck will come to everyone. When you put in effort, When you put in the time, things will come to you at the right time. He said that most fortunes are built by entrepreneurs who started with nothing, got fired once or twice in their careers. If you see those successful people, they are not born from rich families. In fact, they struggle a lot in life. And from these struggles, it builds them to be stronger and be better. And so even if you're not born with a silver spoon, it does not mean that you're losing out. Basically, it's building yourself and your ability to fight through life's challenges. You have the determination and the strength, and you are able to withstand all of this because you have experienced it before. And rewards usually goes to those that outwork others. So he believes that we need to be hardworking, and I believe in that too. And these rewards will come in. A selfish loner, a person who always says I, me, will never go to the limit. One like that, usually doesn't belong in the organization. Instead, the more successful you are, the more likely that you are actually a group. That means you succeed when the group succeeds. So it's not about you succeeding, but the entire group succeeding. And the last quote that he said before he ended his entire book is, "Tomorrow will be the best day I've ever had." Meaning you're always looking forward to the next day because you never know what will present itself in a new day. So always look forward to the future, never the past. Learn from your mistake, do well, and implement what you've learned in the future. And I wish you all the success. That's all for my book review of the Bloomberg. I would recommend you to get it and keep it with you like the most important treasures that you have ever found in a treasure cave. So if you love my video, please subscribe to my video and remember to like and give some comments what you learned from this sharing session. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.